The first thing we do on our agenda is have public input. Is that Hoyger? I'm going to foul up the very first name. Karen, is it Hoyger? Hangerer. That's an N. I am sorry.
No, don't worry about it. I'm Karen Hangerer. I live in Vancouver. In my letter to the editor...
Can you hear Karen?
No, pull the mic.
Does that work?
Yes, better.
In my letter to the editor praising Nan Hendrickson, the entire consensus building process and the freeholders as a group, I did indeed use an oxymoron, saying there were no obvious hidden agendas. Now that you've spent many hours of rich conversation where all the angles were considered, all the voices heard, and every bit of wordsmithing completed in order to produce a charter that deserves the vote of the electorate, I urge you to pass this charter unanimously. The perfect is the enemy of the good, and this is a very good charter. You have constructed a complex charter in the simplest way. A unanimous vote will make it easier for the average voter to focus on the charter itself rather than having to slog through a minority opinion with all of the complexities that will engender. So I urge you to vote unanimously as a capstone to a truly professional endeavor, proving that my oxymoron of no obvious hidden agendas is indeed correct. Please do this for the voters. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Tom Mielke.
Thank you, Board. I'm apologetic for not being here sooner. I appreciate and thank every one of you for your time and your work that you've participated in. And I try to keep track of what's going on, but from where I was, it's like on again and off again. And so I really don't know what the final proposal is. Oh. But I had some concerns of what I heard in the past, and I wanted to express those. One is that, in my opinion, you were sent forth by the voters to put something that everybody would agree upon, not the far right, not the far left, but something everybody could agree on, something that's not complicated, but would give the average citizen more say-so in their government. And that's where the initiative and referendum is a very good thing to have. And it gives the citizens a chance to come back and correct me if I do something wrong, or legislate, or anybody else in the county to be challenged. Or if we don't address something, they could come back and put something on the ballot also. The other thing I was concerned about was representation. In the past, the complaint had been that we didn't have North County representation, and it's because of the way the votes were held. The primary you voted within the district, and the person usually winning the North County vote was not the one that succeeded in the general election where you voted all county-wide. So I was really concerned about that. So if we want representation, we need to recognize that every part of the county is a little bit different, and every part of the county needs to be represented. There's some common issues that they have, but that's about what I'm saying is you have to get that real representation. You can't have one body voting for all positions. I don't think there's an issue whether there's 3 or 5. I think that they all represent different groups of people, and that's a good thing. I was a little surprised. It doesn't bother me if you want to reduce my salary. But one of the things I compared it with, when Seattle had 13 councilmen and they reduced it to 9, they didn't share that salary back with the remaining 9.
Ah.
So in this case here, when you take the salary of the 3 and share it with the 5, it's the same scenario in reverse. But whether you want qualified people here or just somebody says, I think I can do it. I think it's got to be something that's the fire in your belly type of thing, that you have something to come back and share with others to want to do it. You've got to have a fire in the belly if you're going to run for election. If you're not interested in running, you won't get elected. People can see if you have a fire or you have the heart for it and you truly have things that you would like to participate in and exchange with other people. So again, I want to thank all of you for all of your work. You've done a great job. I have to admit that today, 2 of us couldn't reach an agreement in picking out another commissioner. I can imagine what it's like with this many people when the 2 of us can't reach an agreement. So thank you all again for the good job and the dedication that you've done. Thank you.
And you do know that through this term, your salary will not be reduced, right?
I don't know.
Yes, that's what it says. It will not. It will not be reduced.
Tom, if I may, Madam Chair, I was just going to say, you just presented a perfect reason why we ought to change the government as per this charter. 2 people can't agree on something.
Okay, the next speaker is Lee Jensen.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Board. My name is Lee Jensen. I live in Battleground. And pass this charter. We need to make a change in the number of commissioners from 3 to 5. As I have testified in the past, having 2 members of a 3-member board push their agendas is a situation that is going to happen. I'm really surprised it hasn't happened more times in the past. And I guarantee you, if the number of commissioners stays at 3 instead of 5, it will happen more often in the future. Pass this charter. Clark County is increasing in population, which can also increase the complexity of laws, regulations, and freedoms. These issues require more thoughts and more people to produce them. We need 5 commissioners, not 3. I think one issue to keep in mind is that in 5 years' time, this charter can be adjusted. There may be a significant change in the demographics of this county, for example, and this charter can address that. I have attended most of your freeholder meetings. I have been impressed with the intellectual level of the discussions, the depth of thought of the questions, and the leadership Chair Nan Hendrickson has provided. You all should be proud. I feel by passing this charter, you will be advancing Clark County toward the future, a better future. Please pass this charter. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you very much. A gentleman just entered the room who started out as our major staff person, Kel Sills. Would you like to say something?
Sure.
So having a background as staff instead of a politician, I'll keep this very short and sweet. The short part is to say congratulations. The sweet part is to recognize the work that all of you done, but in particular, I can tell you that Nan Hendrickson has been incredibly invaluable, and her leadership has been stellar. And I say that not just from the public perspective, but a lot of private meetings where we did a lot of foundational work on your behalf and for the people of Clark County. So I know that this is a culmination for you, but I'm looking at it more from a reflective perspective to just say you and the people of Clark County have been extremely fortunate, and I just want to recognize your chair.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Nan.
I didn't call on him for that, but we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Sure.